San Diego, California was the birthplace of Tom Paterson in the fall of 1982. After his father retired from the Navy, the Paterson family settled in McMinnville while Tom was in the first grade. The lefty quickly developed a powerful arm and established himself as one of the most athletically versatile males of his age group, excelling equally at football, basketball, and baseball. As a MAC High freshman in 1997, Tommy was the undisputed leader of the football team by playing quarterback and punter on offense, as well as cornerback on defense, while leading the Bears to a winning season. Paterson continued to improve at each of those positions over the next 3 years while competing at the varsity level. The power and accuracy of his rocket launcher of a throwing arm was evenly matched by that of his kicking ability, making him an all-league first-team punter as just a sophomore.
He was really fluid as a quarterback and also as a hitter. So I'm kind of talking two perspectives here. And he could run, which is great because very few people can do all aspects like run, throw, hit, and catch. Well, he could do all four of those. His biggest talent of all might have been his punting ability. He was a guy that could punt in college. He had good height, good hang time, and also distance.
Tom's work ethic was rewarded with a starting spot on offense and defense as a junior, while he earned another All-League honor for punting and the team's Junior MVP award. By his senior season, the team captain was once again leading the Bears in every way as they finished the year one win shy of a .500 season to barely miss out on their first playoff berth in decades. Tommy ended a great football career by being selected to the All-League third team for offense, All-League first team for defense, and as the Bears' most valuable player. Tom's versatility shined brightest on the basketball court by literally being able to play any position that was asked of him. The natural leader was the starting point guard in middle school, but as a freshman was sculpted into a wing player that could slash to the basket, handle the ball, pass, shoot, defend, and post up all equally well. Being over 6 feet tall, he ultimately settled into the small forward position and led it on the varsity team his sophomore through senior years.
He was probably one of the best athletes I ever coached here at McMinnville High School, all around. He basically had the green light to do whatever he wanted, and the less I coached, the better he played, so I just stopped messing with him. I think he played better when I wasn't coaching him because the kind of offense we were running, or had ran, when Rick was the coach, and then when I took over, it was a little more structured. And Tommy was too good of an athlete to just kind of contain out there on the wing, and so we just tried to turn him loose and let his athletic talents come to us rather than us trying to control him a little bit.
The Grizzlies were good every year, compiling an overall record of 54 wins to only 28 losses and making the state tournament twice. He had an uncanny ability of using his athleticism to put himself in the right place at the right time in order to make the big play, as well as consistently hitting high degree of difficulty shots. As a senior, Tommy led the team in several statistical categories to a league championship and their first state tournament victory in years. He ended an excellent basketball career after a 1-point loss in the third game of the state playoffs, and by being selected as the team's most inspirational player and onto the all-league first team. It was in his favorite sport of baseball where Paterson would make the biggest name for himself. Tommy's powerful throwing arm made him one of the Bears' best pitchers by default, but his preferred position and the one he played most was outfield, more specifically, center field. He was also amongst the team's best hitters every year as a major contributor on the varsity squad in each season but his freshman. Though the team struggled every year, Tom's play flourished as he garnered either an All-League second team or All-League first team selection for both pitching and fielding in all 3 years.
And then in baseball, he could play almost every position. I don't think we had him behind a plate, but I know he played the infield. He's most noted for playing in the outfield because he could run. He could chase down balls and make great catches, and he had a great arm. And then he was also a pitcher. And the thing I liked him about pitching-wise is that he was always around the plate. He hardly walked anybody. And then along with that, he was left-handed, which caused some people some problems. But also hitting-wise, he just had a good swing.
I'll say in all three sports, his work ethic was second to none. He was really athletic, but he was also a three-sport athlete. We always knew baseball was the sport that he wanted to take on after high school, in college and the pros and so forth, but he never sold football and basketball short. I've always wondered if he regrets playing football and basketball, did it take away from his baseball, but I'll tell you, that kid put in more hours developing his craft, whether it was baseball, basketball, football. After basketball, I knew he was going and throwing, I knew he was hitting and so forth. He was constantly moving and working on those different skills, and at the same time, he was a 3.5 student here. I don't think a lot of kids realize he achieved what he did achieve because of his work ethic, and just, I mean, he had a goal, he had a passion, and he went after it.
I didn't see him as a real loud type guy, but I saw a guy that when he talked, everybody listened. And then also, you know what I mean, on the athletic field or on the basketball court, his actions, you know. Like I say, I want to reiterate this. He was a guy that seemed to really like to practice and have fun at practice. It wasn't grueling and you know what I mean, and him having to go through a 2.5-hour workout.
He finished his MHS sports career as the baseball team's MVP, the school's Male Athlete of the Year, and the Pac-9's top scholar athlete. Paterson was also the recipient of the Gary Vaughn Award, the Corrigan Triple Letter Award, and the Mac Club News Register Sports Award before graduating in the summer of 2001. In the fall, Tommy decided to keep his talents home in McMinnville by playing baseball for Linfield College while studying to obtain a degree in finance. After gaining some good experience on the Wildcats JV team and appearing in 5 varsity games as a freshman, Paterson started in 9 games but played in 24 as he began to solely focus his efforts on center fielding as a sophomore. Assistant coach and former World Series MVP Scott Brocious became a close friend and mentor for Tommy as the two tirelessly worked on elevating Paterson's game to a whole new level.
The very first time I met him, he was a kid, trick-or-treating and Halloween. That's kind of my first memory. Is he came to the door at Halloween dressed as Scott Brocious. And so we kind of laughed about that in college a little bit, that was, you know, being a baseball player was something that even, you know, from the time it was pretty young, was something he really wanted to do. Physically, he's a great athlete, number one. You know, 3-sport, you know, player in high school that you know, had the athletic ability to probably play any of those 3 in college as well. But on the baseball field, he was, you know, as you look at tools, he was kind of that 5-tool player for us. He could run well, he could throw, he could hit for average, he could hit for power, but beyond that, kind of the intangibles, he had a great work ethic, loved to be on the field. You could see the passion in how he played, really cared about how the team did as well as how he did. So he was a great teammate. He was one of those kind of guys that coaches dream about having, because they're a good player with just a better attitude.
His hard work paid off as a junior by starting in every single game and leading the Cats to the conference championship. Tom's breakthrough season earned him the team's MVP award, along with an all-conference first team and all-West regional second team selection, as Linfield won their first playoff game in a decade. Entering his senior year, Tommy looked to have his best baseball season yet. But before taking the outfield, he would once again display his versatility by taking snaps as the varsity football scout team's quarterback. Tom was sought after for the position by the football team's coaching staff. It was a position he truly enjoyed as he quarterbacked in every practice that season, hoping the Wildcats prepared themselves for greatness as the team won the 2004 national championship. After rising to the challenge of scout team quarterback, regardless of not playing organized football in 4 years, Paterson was poised to play better than ever that spring. That's exactly what he did, as he and the team dominated their opponents as they compiled one of the school's best all-time records, winning 33 of 42 games and their second straight conference championship. Tommy once again repeated as a team's MVP and on the all-conference first team, but this year, he capped off his collegiate career by garnering national recognition as he was chosen as the conference and regional player of the year, along with an All-American first-team selection. To this day, Paterson still ranks 6th on Linfield's all-time batting average and runs scored lists, as well as 5th in doubles and RBIs, 4th in bases stolen, and in the top 10 in 7 other categories, including hits, home runs, and fielding percentage, cementing his baseball career as one of the best in school history.
What's it going to take? What can I do? And those were a lot of the things that we talked about. What can I do to get to the next level? And so we talk about those things as far as, you know, physically, swing development, things like that, and just kind of the maturity on the field to, you know, he's a perfectionist, and most good players are perfectionists, and we have a tendency to be hard on himself too, because you expect yourself to have success every time. And so that part of it, that as he learned to master that side of it as well, to be able to deal with some of the kind of the failure that's built into playing sometimes. You know, even the best hitters fail, you know, 7 out of 10 times, 300 hitters, as far as getting a hit. And so being able to kind of control, you know, that aspect of it is really where he was able to kind of take it to the next level beyond college.
After graduating from Linfield with his bachelor's in finance in the summer of 2005, Tommy decided to strive to achieve his childhood dream of playing professional baseball by trying out for the Philadelphia Phillies. His dream came true when he made their single-A minor league team as a center fielder. Tom spent 2 years with the Phillies before moving on to Chicago and signing with the White Sox minor league club as a free agent. After one season in Chicago, Paterson decided to retire from the sport and put his degree to good use as a financial advisor with Merrill Lynch.
He was one of the best outfielders I've ever coached, and he went on to play pro ball, and we can talk a lot about his baseball ability, but he's a fine person.
He's exactly one of those kids you wish younger kids could see and hear about, so that, I believe he did it the right way. I know there's a lot of people, were wondering, whether or not he had the arm strength or bat speed or what have you, but he never listened to that. He was going to achieve his goal.
I'm proud of him. I mean, I'm really proud of who he is. I'm proud of what he's accomplished on the baseball field, but again, knowing him as he kind of grew up, and I say grown up into college and beyond, like I said, I'm proud of what he's achieved athletically, but I'm even more proud of just who he's become as a person, as a husband, and he's been able to deal and handle, okay, when your initial dream, doesn't go quite as far as you hoped it would go, there's a next step, and that's what he's been able to do as well. And so I think for me, more than anything else, I was proud to coach him, and like I said, just proud to know him and proud of who he is.
He was a guy that was definitely an asset to any program, and he's one of my financial advisors right now. Not that there's a lot to advise, but that's how much trust I've got in him.
Today, he works and lives in Salem with wife Chelsea while coaching youth football and competing in a multitude of sports, once again showing his versatility by adding golf to his resume. Tom Paterson's hard work and determination is only matched by his character and integrity. His athletic achievements of the past will surely echo as moral accomplishments in his future.